You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. White place civil living, you won't listen to 50,000 dead. Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. White place civil when all these dead won't make you listen. What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? Man, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me. I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory and leave them there. Hillary, I'll see you there. Hillary, I'll see you there. You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. White place civil living, you won't listen to 50,000 dead. Now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. White place civil when all these dead won't make you listen. Welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. Welcome to the last of the free speech while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats, second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists, and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust, there's just moral justice after that. And I will hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. So I can rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. I can sleep fine when our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. As long as I can lay my head down, I can live with that. I can deal with a little ash. I can feel like a little of the old me burn with the bed and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back. Those days are behind us, the virus will kill all that. Your wealth is behind us and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. And they feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion and people in need are all it will have. So our only chance is to starve it and hope that it turns on them. You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads.
Because guess what? What has every major crime bill that's a Democratic crime bill? A Democratic crime bill. That's the secret. A Democratic crime bill. A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops.
I guess in the end that it's just a crapshoot. Who denounces the true you versus who backs you? Knowing you would skin the poor to make a tracksuit. Knowing you'd begin a few wars if your overlords asked you. Knowing that the ink's not dry on the last few. And knowing that your voters aren't living in a goddamn vacuum. We see through you, Joe, we see past you. Joe, we know you only want to kick trans folks out the bathrooms. Spittle up some dreck about family values.
That's the secret.
Take away our weed and then say that we just need Valium. Joe Biden, patron saint of big pharma, knows no karma, and all of our media paints him as valiant. Well, I'm here to tell you the spirit of Biden exists in a cursed medallion that rose out of hell like smoke in the form of 1,000 stallions. A dead battalion, eyes blood red with a lust for the violence of racial injustice.
That's the secret.
I come to bury Joe and burn a candle for Augustus. And it's maybe not a song you would dance to, but something of substance. Something in place that can warn you when liberals lie while they're looking you straight in the eye and they say you can trust us.
That's the secret.
I come to bury Joe and burn a candle for Augustus. Maybe you didn't get what I meant. This is not a political event. It's the winter of our discontent. Half of us will not make rent. I might burn my masters just to keep warm. Big white lies. No silver lining under smoke gray skies. And all of the streets ran red, but the blood sure kept our feet warm. So vote for the wolf in sheep form. Defund police before we're all deformed. Take our free speech, we'll speak in the tongues of C4. Our lungs need more to send us packing than tear gas thrown from the hands of fascists who killed their cams and take off their badges, all while Biden and Kamala fund our assassins and offer us nothing but platitudes. They'll tell us go out and vote and then clean up your attitudes. Will Joe fuck you to death and the donors you fed us to? Go out and vote and then clean up your attitudes.
A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops. A Democratic president wants 100,000 cops.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them. The game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward and 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning,
Wait.
Sunday morning.
Wait, we're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Said you
to check out IndependentLeft.news.
The Indie News Network.
Indie Left News.
Oh, hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.news. Great work.
Indie Left News.
IndependentLeft.news.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News. Shout out.
Oh, what's up, Independent Left?
Friend show.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
The INN, Indie, you're wonderful.
I think Indie was onto something.
Independent News Network, Indie News. Yeah. What's up, Indie, over on Rockfin?
Independent News Network, also known as INN.
Indie Left News.
I don't know if I would have made it through that 3 weeks without Indie, honestly.
No, I was just going to ask Indie.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
No, you know what we're doing? We're world building.
Indie.
Indie Left News.
You were doing the INN recruiting.
Indie News.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News.
Check out Independent Left News.
At Indie News.
I see Indie's in the chat. Hi, Indie! Okay, great. Bye.
No, don't go anywhere. Hi, everybody. It's Sunday. Wow. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. This is Indie. Hi. That's Reef over there. This is How Do We Miss That? It is Sunday, Mother's Day 2023. Hope everybody had a good Mother's Day. We have got a bunch of interesting, nightmarish, insane, crazy stories. We're going to dig into what seems to be a pretty on the up and up organization that turns out maybe not so much. We're going to find out that Clarence Thomas is certainly getting away with corruption at the minimum. I don't know what the hell you call what the hell he's doing. Yes, INN and not ILN. Actually, it's both. So ILN is part of INN, and I hate to, I know it's a little confusing, but so I am Indie Left, and I started Indie News Network a year and a half after having Indie Left already, and Indie Left is now one of 18 channels or 19 channels that's part of Indie News Network, including Rob Durden and this guy and Yeti and Angel Rivera and the Big Man Crab and Colin Radix Carter and Tara Reid and so many more. So that's the difference between Indie Left and INN. But welcome, everybody. Hi, everybody. Why is this thing saying that there's only really 3 people here? I know there's more than 3 people here. Of course there are. Because I see Desert Mantis, and I see Julie Love, and I see Reef and Mad Mom, and I see me. That's definitely more than 3. Thank you, YouTube, for messing around with us. All right. So welcome, everybody, to How Do We Miss That? How Do We Miss That, as I said, is a show featuring articles written by independent journalists who expose corruption, cover workers' organizing, and environmental crises while challenging corporate establishment narratives and talking points. New episodes stream live Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, that's now, on our YouTube and Rumble, Twitch, Rockfin, Substack, Facebook, Telegram channels. Podcasts usually published within a couple days on Amazon, Apple, Google, Spotify, and more. So you can download those, give us a 5-star rating anywhere you can. I'm Indie. I'm co-host. I'm founder, editor of Indie Media Today Substack and the Indie Media Awards, exclusively on, no, that's Indie's Tech Tips is on Rumble. But Indie Media Awards is everywhere. Go to indiemediaawards.com and you can learn about all these amazing content creators and independent journalists. I got this guy sitting next to me. He's Reef Breland. He is INN's technical director, and he is the creator. Hey, what's up, man? Creator and co-host of INN News, which is about to have its 60th episode on Wednesday. Whoa. Yep. 60 episodes.
Crazy,
what's up, dude? Right? That is pretty crazy. So both of us are co-founders of INN, Indie News Network, which is a collaborative family of independent content creators, of which Indie Left News is, or Indie Left Media is one of the channels. Find all of our channels at indienews.network. And you can also go to linktr.ee/INN members, and that'll have the whole list of members on the network. We also have Lucy, Blue Moon Red Wine. We've got Luis. We've got God, so many people. Can't even count them all. So please make sure, share this link, like the stream, subscribe to our channel. And we're on all the platforms you watch and listen. Like I said, we're everywhere. We're live on Telegram right now. We're live on Twitch on 2 channels. We're live on Rockfin. Rockfin.com/IND Left News. Check that out. It's ad-free.
Yep.
There is a premium that you can get, but you don't have to subscribe to it. All of our content is available for free on Rockfin, on Rumble, everywhere. So, all right. We have got, let's get to the slideshow. Oh, first I need to share something with you so you can see what we're doing, right, Reef? That would help?
Yeah, that would help.
It usually does help. Why am I not able to? Here, D-score. Whoa. Uh-oh.
Great success.
Great success. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Share my screen. We're doing it live, folks. We're doing it live. All right. So Reef's going to be able to see that, and he'll be able to see when I look at Twitter afterwards.
Wow, it's very nice.
Okay. So let's go over to our main. Hey, there we go. All right. You're very welcome, Chili Love. I know it is confusing. It confuses the hell out of everybody. It doesn't confuse me, but it confuses everybody else. Even people in INN. They're like, wait, what's what? Because my name, you know, everybody calls me Indy, and it's Indie News Network, and it's Indie Left News. Well, I did start both, but I'm not the only guy for INN, obviously. Reef and I started INN together. I was covering, and I found all these different streamers and writers, and I contacted each one of them and was like, hey, let's put together an independent network of people. And it's a year and a half later, and it's still incredible. But so tonight we have got Clarence Thomas, of course, getting away with it. And then the Censorship-Industrial Complex. We're going to go through, holy crap, they put out a crazy, Racket News put out a crazy Substack about that this week. And I want to cover that and show you guys just the beginnings.
I mean, that just looks like Japanese stuff I've seen with the censorship on the octopus.
Oh, yeah. Hentai. Shush. Hey, no. Come on, man. We don't want to get the stream pulled already. So then we have also, hey, now. Yes, thank you. And accountable.us. So accountable.us, and we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Clarence Thomas. We're also going to talk about East Palestine a little bit. I've got a story on East Palestine. But first, I want to talk about something that happened on Substack this week. And I'm a Substack geek, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Yeah, Substack. What's up with Substack? And they did a Kumbaya article this week. So I love these guys. I love this platform.
Is this like when the Beatles put help up? You know?
Kinda. But this is really like a Kumbaya kind of moment. All right. So this is them envisioning a better media system. And what they're saying is that you can't rely on social media to get your message out, that you have to build a subscriber base. That not have to, but it is a much more sustainable model. And they're going to explain why. And that's why I wanted to bring this article to everybody. This one I read a couple of times this week, and it was written by the co-founders of Substack.
Are you going to call Hamish a cool dude again? So this is like the second best video he's ever seen?
I don't want to be a suck up, but he has been put, the fact that these co-founders have been so accessible on Substack Notes, that they are listening to their users and to their publishers, and they're trying to make it better and make improvements on the fly. I gotta commend that. Like, it's really cool. And it's really cool to be able to have access to somebody like that. And not just me, but everybody that's there and chooses to engage. It's not just me. So this is Chris, Hamish, and Jiraj. Chris is also on Notes pretty often. I have not seen Jiraj on there. So this is from their. It is the best Chris. Now he's gonna love that one. So this is from their on.substack.com. This is their Substack blog, and this is kind of like their, how they've been charting the future. So what they say is that, and we've been talking about this, that in the last few weeks, following the launch of Notes, Twitter's chosen to restrict writers' ability to share their work by hiding Substack previews and limiting the distribution of Substack links. It's also cut Substack off from its API, which means that writers can no longer embed tweets in their posts. And we are deeply disappointed by Twitter's actions and have been trying to resolve the issue unsuccessfully so far. Yeah, that's about $40,000 a month, guys. I know what the resolution is. All right. We badly wish writers weren't in this position, and I agree. Writers should be able to share their work freely on Twitter and any other social network, wherever their readers may be. Yeah. This is a challenging moment for writers who've used Twitter to help build their audience and who now find they need to revise their strategies. And that's really nice. I and I feel you guys.
Nice.
Is nice. At the same time, we recognize that, fair or not, this was probably inevitable. Twitter's actions are part of a well-established history of social media platforms limiting writers and creators' ability to share their work. Ad-based social platforms want writers and creators' audiences glued to their feeds, and they design their products to keep them from leaving. In 2012, Twitter stopped embedding Instagram posts after Facebook acquired the photo sharing app. Today, Facebook deprioritizes links that take people away from its feed. I don't know if you knew that. I certainly did not know that. Just about every link I share to Facebook is one that takes people off the site, which is why it gets no activity. Google prioritizes YouTube search results over TikTok and Vimeo. Little ridiculous, thumbs on the scale. While Twitter has now come for writers on Substack, it's extremely likely that it won't be the last publishing platform to receive this treatment. That's fair. So what they said was Substack was created in direct response to this kind of behavior by social media companies. Writers can't build sustainable businesses if their connection to their audience depends on unreliable platforms that frequently change what you see or what partners they prioritize. Hell yeah. Okay. That world is built on shaky foundations that are crumbling all around us. You need only to look at the fates of BuzzFeed, Mike, and Upworthy to see what happens when a media business over-relies on social platforms. That history demonstrates why it's so important to establish that any publisher who uses Substack retains ownership of all their content and their relationship to their audience. Of course, for writers to realize the impact they seek for their work, they need ways for readers to find them. And one compelling path is for actual humans loving their work to share it with other actual humans by email and word of mouth or
humans.
Yes, or in conversation over drinks about a new writer they found who's changing their entire worldview. That peer-to-peer support is the foundation Substack is built on, and it's why we've invested so much in SEO to make sure that people who love your work can most find it. But we also know there are many ways these behaviors can be amplified. And I didn't realize they'd invested so much in SEO. They recently added the ability to add tags to your posts, which is also big for SEO. Within the last year, they've given you the ability to change what they call the slug, which is like the unique extension of the URL for your Substack so that you can define what the post is going to be about for the search engines. You can change titles and descriptions and organize that very much like if you've ever used WordPress, one of those SEO plugins for WordPress, it has that similar look and feel.
Yep.
So they said that for the past year, we have been building tools for writers to grow their audience and business without needing to rely on social platforms. And I've been totally about this. All right. In the Substack network, the major growth drivers are not opaque algorithms that reward viral content, but the writers and creators themselves. Our top growth features include recommendations through which writers can promote other writers. And shout out to Historically and Eva Bartlett and Vanessa Bailey. I get a ton of, I think it's Vanessa Bailey and Historically, I get the most referrals of people signing up for my channel and for my Substack through them. Then you also have notes through which anyone can post their work and where readers can find new writers to fall in love with. And it has a very Twitter-esque feel, but a completely different algorithm placement and different grouping of people that are on there. It's a lot smaller at this point. He said, while we're still in the early days with these features, the Substack network already drives 20% of paid subscriptions across the platform, which is really what they're trying to drive. A year ago, that figure was only 8%. So these guys have been thinking about, like, how do we keep people, in an entire organic world that allows them to share, be found, and do that outside of a social media environment. Yeah. Meanwhile, that's another thing of my favorite. Twitter's share of Substack traffic, right? Already relatively small, has been waning. And this is something that we yell about every day. Do I post? He's yelling at me, why are you even bothering to putting your Substack links on Twitter? They're only like deboosting it. They're deplatforming. They're hiding your shit. All right. And here's what they're saying. Twitter shares Substack traffic, already relatively small, has been waning ever since, even before its recent actions. At the start of the year, Twitter on average drove less than 3% of all views across Substack. Today, it accounts for less than 2%.
How dare you?
Yeah. Now, for me, I think it's about 5% or maybe 6%. It's still about fifth on my list. But Twitter is still really important because it's where I do the most one-on-one communication with people in our community. It's where I have those DM threads where I communicate directly and I have direct feedback with people, many people that are in this audience right now. But to be clear,
good people,
very excellent
the best people.
All right, but
excellent
to be clear,
people, so many,
right? The best, but he's not on there. They wouldn't stop him if he wanted to sign up for one, but he's got his own thing, I guess. That would have been a good distribution platform. Somebody should have sold him on that. Really, really excellent platform. To be clear, we encourage writers to publish on any platform they choose so they can raise their profile and engage with ideas, or even just because they enjoy it. But writers cannot rely on these platforms, including theirs. To become independent, they need a direct connection with their audience that the Substack model provides. And, fortunately, the growth benefits of the Substack ecosystem already far outweigh the benefits from sharing links on social media. Another person that
other than OnlyFans.
Well, yeah, well, Bert Kreischer, OnlyFans. That was great. What was that?
I'm just saying.
Was that the roast?
They did a Whitney one recently too, I think.
Oh my God. So
roast a Whitney.
They're so good. But yeah, I've had this back and forth with Kevin Gostola also as well, because he was on Substack early on, and he moved over to Ghost because, well, he's an Indie Media Award honoree, by the way. Thank you. Actually, he is a double for Shadowproof and for him, so that's fitting. He moved over to Ghost because it is a paid subscriber only, and there was no real free model, I don't believe. I think that in order to get on something, you had at the time that you had to pay some kind of thing. Or as a creator, I don't think that there was a free model. You had to pay some kind of monthly fee in order to be able to publish there. I don't know if that's changed.
Gotcha.
But, well, we have no say at Substack.
Like Medium, kind of.
Kind of. Well, no, Medium, I don't think you have to pay to publish on Medium. You have to pay to be a member of Medium, but no, not to publish there. No, if you want to create a Ghost presence, like I created a Substack page and anybody can for free, and you can do that with a referral code, just ask me for it. You can do that for free. You can't do that on Ghost. You have to pay like $9 a month or something like that just to be able to publish there. Anyway, while we have no say over how social media companies treat writers and creators from this point on, we can commit to continuing to build a strong, reliable platform that not only provides great publishing and growth tools, but also puts writers' needs first. Our business depends on it. Our mission of building a new economic engine for culture is a long-term project. It can be achieved only in partnership with writers and creators and with real, steady gains that can't be undone by a third party. And in the Substack ecosystem, writers can focus on what they do best, which is producing great writing that earns readers' respect and support. And for our part, we'll focus on creating a platform that makes everything else, from starting to managing to growing an independent media business, simple and powerful. Amazing why I champion these guys and why, it just align with what we're trying to do here. I really think so. So, and thank you to all of us for our trust and patience and continued support of independent writers and a better media system for us all. So how could I not love this thing? And people would say that they're shit lips, if anything, but except that there's more anti-COVID big pharma narrative stuff on Twitter and stuff that debunking everything with regard to Great Reset and all of corporate narratives is all over Substack. And that's why it's driving corporate media crazy, because they can't control that narrative. Nor can the people who create Substack. Now, I'd love to see how they're setting the algorithm for how notes are being set. It looks like it's just a real-time thing based upon what you're subscribed to, but there's a feed that's just supposed to be kind of a fire hose real-time of everything, and it doesn't look like it's quite that. So how are they deciding what gets prioritized? They also now have multiple check systems, which I'm not really crazy about, but holy shit, they just came out with a new one called a purple check.
As long as they don't have a WEF executive on the, about to run the thing.
Oh God,
should
no.
Be all right.
Yeah, exactly. But what's beautiful about them though is that you can take your content.
Beautiful.
You can export all of this content and take it to another platform, as well as your subscriber base.
Go full throttle.
And all of you got to go full throttle. Julia, come on, Julia.
Full throttle, it's beautiful.
We go full throttle.
Julia.
So
I built this platform for you, Julia.
They basically did build this platform for us, and I greatly appreciate them and love them. And
needs more ceiling fans, though.
Love it. I guess that. Oh, okay. I see that the bot is broke. Oh, lovely. Oh, all right. So let me see if I can fix the chat bot. Let's see. I thought I refreshed this damn thing. Oh, I know why it's not working.
Might have.
No, I know why. I have to go into this settings here and go to the embedded stream, and that's going to show up on your Fachamach for 1 second. All right. And the reason why is because I need to copy this and put that into the restream chat thing over here. Sorry, everybody. We're doing it live and we're doing it on the fly. Indy's got to do some
live
here.
On the fly.
Wait, I just stole that. I'm sorry, Randy Credico. I love you, but I did not intend to steal that from you. And that should bring our chat in now. For the chat is ready to display. Yay! Okay, so let's see. Is Jilly going to show up? Is that going to show? It does.
Probably.
Hopefully. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Testing,
that was my Discord,
testing.
if anyone heard that.
Nope.
If not, don't worry about it.
Yay! Okay, it shows up. Alrighty. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Fantastic.
Yeah. There must be like 9 people live, because if we only have 9 people here watching, that's okay. Sure. Cool. We got clips. Yeah, Pax, welcome. What's up, man? How you doing, Sean Hades? Sean Hades, good peeps, man. Shout out to Sean. Sean doesn't get the love and respect that he deserves, because he works really hard on that website that he put together. Everyone loves him. He's sharing links all the time. Good peeps. All right. Next, let's get into some ugliness. East Palestine. Hey, we got rid of that green line. Oh, that looks so much better. Oh, that was bugging the shit out of me.
You mean they're still poisoned?
Oh, man, it's so bad. So this is an Aaron Brockovich article from the Brockovich Report. Go subscribe to the Brockovich Report on Substack. Go to thebrockovichereport.com. Follow her at Aaron Brockovich everywhere. Our wonderful friends over in Norfolk Southern that have poisoned the town and are abandoning them as a result. So Aaron says that while media attention has faded for the small village in northeastern Columbiana County, Ohio, just 3 months since a toxic, residents are still dealing with the aftermath, and we need to keep talking about it. So she went on the corporate news nation. She's been on The View recently. Erin's been making the corporate media rounds, but at least, hey, look, somebody's got to keep the word alive, and I appreciate that she's doing that. She was on News Nation late last week, to discuss the serious lack of transparency. And this is what's going on. And shout out to all of the reporters that have continued to keep this alive on the ground, as well as United for East Palestine, who will be having a return appearance on the Misty Winston show, I know, a week from Monday. So
yep.
She told anchor Elizabeth Vargas, "I think it's shameful how our agencies have handled a train derailment and almost left this community, their children, their future, and their health left to dry. Not almost, they have. It breaks my heart to learn that one of the trains that derailed carried a Dow product, which the company has now confirmed." What does this mean? Even before this toxic spill, Dow Chemical and its subsidiary Union Carbide were already the single biggest contributor to hotspots of toxic air pollution in the entire country, according to a 2021 report from friends at ProPublica. We'll hear from them later on tonight, too. That same research revealed that more than 70 million Americans, that's 1/5 of our population, are being exposed to levels of toxic air pollution that result in a cancer risk. And it's a mess for EP residents and everyone else who are exposed to those pollutants. It's close. The chemical, called ethyl hexyl acrylate, is used as a raw material in the production of adhesives, coatings, construction materials, printing inks, and plastics. And it was one of 5 toxic chemicals that were released into the area along with vinyl chloride, butyl acrylate, isobutylene, and ethylene glycol. Those chemicals were set ablaze in a chemical fire, and they spilled into a ditch that feeds Sulphur Run, which is a stream that joins Leslie Run, which eventually empties into the Ohio River. And folks are still showing video of those waterways, and they don't look clean to me. Plus, here's a photo of a resident filling up her bathtub who's been told her water is safe for consumption. It's gross. It's like literally black. Ethyl hexyl acrylate and ethylene glycol. You know, it's really funny. I know how to pronounce all this stuff by reading the shampoo bottle on, now they have phones and stuff, but like when we were kids, when you were sitting there and you didn't have anything else to read, you basically read the back of the shampoo and the back of the conditioner. So I learned how to read all that stuff because I was terrible in chemistry, but I could read all that. But ethylene glycol can cause irritation of the skin and eyes, as well as sore throat and nausea with exposure to high concentrations, according to the National Library of Medicine. And all of these symptoms are...
That's just Taco Bell.
Right? All these symptoms are ones that East Palestine residents have reported and, of course, are still reporting. Yeah. Yes, Desert Mantis, methylchloroisothiazolinone. Don't ask me how I know that, but it was in like PERT Plus or Prel or one of those because it was in my shower for who's in my shower
Head and Shoulders
for like 40 years. No, for like growing up when I was a teenager. Anyway, somehow this area was deemed safe while cleanup continues, and we know why. We've reported on that before, and they can't keep the trains running if they deem the area is unsafe and if there aren't residents living there. So they can't run a train through East Palestine, and it's a critical junction. Norfolk Southern is working with regulatory agents. It is a non-functioning junction. Norfolk Southern is working with regulatory agencies on their investigations into the derailment and continues its efforts to remove chemicals from the site of the derailment. Yeah, sure they do. They do. We continue to work daily cleaning the site and surrounding community. Sure they do. That's what their senior communications manager or their PR agent told the Daily News on April 27th. And we recently hit a milestone of completing evacuation efforts for Track 1 and expect the work under Track 2 to be completed in June. Most importantly, we will be there for as long as it takes. Aha. But the testing, as Aaron says, doesn't lie. I mean, you've covered quite a bit of this on INN News, Reef, with Colin.
Yep. They'll be there as long as it takes until they need to go get coffee or, go live their lives not poisoned.
Yeah. I'd love to see the government make them have to buy it and all the executives live there.
Yeah.
We've learned that dozens of residents have urine samples testing positive for vinyl chloride and benzene. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
You can watch
And
resident
then
Shelby
something you use
Walker.
to clean your records.
Oh, God. You can watch resident Shelby Walker, who lives only 900 feet from the disaster, discuss her concerns surrounding her health here. And that is a video that I believe maybe even Status Quo, somebody took. I mean, there's a bunch of links to this article. I'll drop the link to this in chat, but go to the Brockovich report. I believe it's still the most recent article. Long-term exposure to high levels of benzene in the air can cause leukemia. But at this point, doctors don't have protocols for how to get these chemicals out of our system. Thanks. Vinyl chloride contaminates many communities in the U.S. due to pollution from plastics manufacturing plants, according to a new report. So great, this shit is everywhere. It's used to make plastic, polyvinyl chloride, PVC, and is classified by the U.S. EPA as a carcinogen. Yay! And has been linked to higher rates of lung and liver cancer, as well as liver disease, neurological problems, and miscarriage. A whole host of just wonderful things that they've decided to serve us.
A whole new world. That's what I thought you were going.
No, I wasn't going to go.
It.
No, I could. It is nightmarishly dystopian. So many people that live in the area are still reeling from this toxic disaster. Their friends, not our friends, but I will shout out to Lewis for being on the ground. Spoke with local Chrissy Ferguson about the situation on the ground.
You can.
Erin has. Her urine has also tested positive for vinyl chloride, and if you go to the article, there is a 20-minute video with Lewis directly interviewing her at her house, and it's horrible. It's heartbreaking. It's nightmarish, and I can't. And then this made me want to. Kind of made me want to cry a little bit, like when I read this. My best advice to locals in East Palestine is continue to stay community strong. What does that mean? If you haven't already, consider joining the Facebook group United for East Palestine, Ohio, which I'm a member of. This group has more than 8,000 members and was created to bring together resources available to those impacted by the train derailment, as many families were forced to leave their homes. The other thing I want to continue to remind folks living there is to keep a detailed journal that best describes your physical and emotional condition, including any symptoms. As expected after a traumatic event, stress levels remain high in East Palestine. That's an understatement. Marcy Patton leads the Columbiana County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, which has been providing crisis and counseling mental health support since the derailment. She told the local station that they're seeing symptoms of PTSD. People may have trouble sleeping. People may have problems with appetite, panic attacks. My throat always does this when I go live. It's so funny.
I mean, it sounds just like seasonal.
Yeah.
What's
allergies?
That? SADS?
Yeah, right? No, it's not SADS.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Her organization started a stress management class and a community support group to fill a gap in resources, and these meetings are open to the public and offered free of charge. Really nice. And then, of course, litigation's moving forward, but the legal world moves incredibly slow. We haven't gone away. The work continues, but this part is done in offices and doesn't get much coverage. For those wondering about deadlines related to litigation, yes, there is a deadline for when you can file a lawsuit for damages you suffer as a result of the action of others. This is called a statute of limitations. And in Ohio, the statute of limitations on property damage and personal injury claims is 2 years from the date of the accident. So if you want to sue Norfolk
Southern, trying to wait it out
for damages caused, you would need to do so by February 2nd, 2025. Well, you could first file a lawsuit on February 1st, 2025, and then they can drag that out forever. Yes, but you may want to, I don't know why you would want to wait, but I mean, they probably want to gather as many signatures, resources, and everything, and take as much time as possible to file the most airtight, largest, broadest class action that you possibly could, I would guess. But she would know better than I because she's done it a couple of times already. She's done it against PG&E in California. So I would have to rely on her expertise in this, but of course, ask a lot of questions, learn, push, and try to be one of those experts moving forward potentially, because we need more. And I think she would agree with that too. This week on Thursday, the Way Station and First United Presbyterian Church will hosted an informational session with Ohio EPA about surface water. So she's giving information about where you can go, and the sessions run 6 to 7, where and what to dial. And guys, they're still asking for water. They still need clean water, like lots of it. You know, I don't know what the government's doing. I saw a truck full, but I'm sure that goes really quickly. But Savvy Sabs, Indie Media Award honoree also, both for RBN and for her own channel. She shared this about that they need water, and I know Rob Durden shared it. I know RBN shared it. I know a bunch of folks, people shared it. So I wanted to get that out there, that if you can contact Tammy Tsai, TSAI 365. The call went out on May 8th. It's now May 14th. They need money. They need money, but they also need water. East Palestine Tammy at gmail.com. You can email them if you have any resources to be able to help. And we got merch. Hey everybody, we got merch. But support these people in East Palestine. And I see that case of water sitting behind you right now, Reef, and it's just like, yes.
That one?
That one
right?
Sitting on the floor, and it's like, damn, man.
Needs to go in the fridge.
Water is life. Water is life.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
He who controls the spice
Katie
controls the universe.
Oh, Kameshwari Katie. I hope Kameshwari Katie's there. I don't think Katie Halper will be here. But maybe.
No. Only if we serve martinis.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
What?
I'm not even. Don't you even go there. All right. Be back later. All right. Crab, what's up? It's like an Aladdin nightmare. Yes. Oh, man. All right. Yep. So.
We're fucked.
Well, yes, sure. Mm-hmm.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude. Wait, why am I doing virtual webcam? No, I wanted to do audio and make sure that, okay, everything's on. Good. All right. Censorship-Industrial Complex. That's what's going on here. Censorship-Industrial Complex. So we've been talking about this. This is one of the things that came out of the Twitter files, that Matt Taibbi and the team over at Racket News have been trying to assemble the largest picture of, and I'm calling it like an encyclopedia of narrative management. Because this is all of the different sectors and all the different organizations and all the different interests that come together to create what is being referred to now as the Censorship Industrial Complex. And shout out to Mad Crab for the graphic there. Sure, he spent a bunch of time on that one.
Yep.
Now, this was the original graphic.
Look at this graph.
Look at this graph. And we're going to go into this a little bit more.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh.
All right. So now what I got to do, let's go back to our two-shot. Turn the slideshow off. And
oh my God, dude. You got to stop using that two-shot.
Escape.
When I'm on bunk. That is way too close. That's
what I said. That's an up-close and personal shot right there. Like, woo! Hello. Yep. All right, so let me zoom in a
like
little
just
bit.
Eyeballs.
Yes, it kind of is. All right, so let's go back to our indie main here.
Yepex wants a link to the graph. It's probably in the description.
You know what? Let me go back to this one. Is this one better? Yes, that's what. Yeah. Why is it doing that? That shouldn't be. All right. Anyway. So this graph, put together by the people at Racket News and MrMoreMedia.com. Shout out to MrMoreMedia.com because this is awesome. So the first thing that drew my eye, of course, were the ones at the top, which were the big tech companies. Google, Facebook, we know all these logos. Pinterest. Pinterest,
Yeah.
huh? Yep. Yeah, Pinterest.
Your kids probably know those logos.
All right. I don't know how well you can see all that. I don't know. I can't really zoom in much better, but
You
so
can
up
right
here-
click, open image in new tab. First thing, very first thing. There you go now. Yep.
It's a biggie. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Hey now. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
That works.
All right. So you got your
You're
big
welcome.
tech companies, including TikTok. And we talked about how TikTok is not just a Chinese company. All right. And then you've got your government agencies over here. DHS, NATO, CISA, the 77th Brigade, the DOD, of course. This new Foreign Malign Influence Center. We're going to talk about that a little. State Department, DARPA, NSF. All right. And this is like, it's huge, huge. All right. Now, another one that jumped off the screen at me here were the Ford and Rockefeller and Open Society Foundations, Koch brothers. So this is a bipartisan look at Omidyar Group. Look at that. And the Knight Foundation. Who are they? And a lot of these
Capo Mafia
companies,
people.
a lot of these companies and a lot of these organizations like Media Matters for America, NGOs, Bellingcat.
Ooh, Bellingcat. We know them.
Yes, we know them well. Wikipedia and the Wikimedia, Advanced Democracy, etc., etc., etc. All right. Then you've got your fact checkers, quote unquote, and that's like factcheck.org and the Global Disinformation Index. And this is a massive project that's been assembled that's putting all this stuff together, right? And you've got your think tanks, the ones that put out those reports like the Aspen Institute and the Atlantic Council. And they're
Atlantic Council.
Right? And then you've got the academic initiatives like
We've covered this.
The Stanford Internet Observatory.
Specifically, there's a great McLeod article that like talks about if I move my thing to see if it's here. Me and Colin covered it way back on INN News about English Ivy League, Cambridge or which one's over there?
Cambridge, Oxford, one of those.
Might have been it.
How the
literal, deep state, ex-CIA, ex-FBI, ex-military generals, whatever, are like working in these positions of education at these places, and recruiting members that way.
It's all interconnected.
And also controlling the education that your children get and at college.
Very much so. The Hewlett Foundation, all these, the Google News Initiative, of course, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which has donated millions to just about every major media organization in the last few years.
Kurzgesagt, and other science-influenced content on YouTube. They fund a ton of that.
Yep.
So
getting back to this article, and I did want to read just the intro. So what they did was they laid out, they're starting to lay out, these are the 50 largest organizations to know, the top 50 organizations that you should know about, the Citizens Starter Kit to Understanding the New Global Information Cartel, how it's all interconnected, and it's going to give you like, where do they appear in the Twitter files, how they're connected and who they're connected to, and where do they fit into the entire big picture. And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, by Matt Taibbi, but this was a collective of Susan Schmidt and Andrew Lowenthal. Shout out to Andrew from Network Effects, Tom Wyatt, Technofog. One of them is Chasing Tom Clancy, and the other writers are listed at the bottom. But Matt wrote the intro, and he says that on January 17th, 1961, outgoing President and former Supreme Allied Commander Eisenhower gave one of the most consequential speeches in American history. Eisenhower, for 8 years, had been a popular president whose appeal drew upon a reputation as a person of great personal fortitude who guided the United States to victory in an existential fight for survival in World War II. Nonetheless, as he prepared to vacate the Oval Office for handsome young John F. Kennedy, he warned the country it was now at the mercy of a power even he could not overcome. So this is interesting. Until World War II, America had no permanent arms manufacturing industry. I wasn't aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it did. And this new sector, Eisenhower said, was building up around itself a cultural, financial, and political support system accruing enormous power. This conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience, he said. And he basically called it a military-industrial complex, as you see here.
Yeah, it's Eisenhower's famous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The thing was, you had places like Colt and Browning and whatever, but they were like isolated, almost like special order kind of stuff. You'd buy, before then, you'd buy stuff like a Sharps rifle. You'd have a gunsmith build you a rifle, Right. So they started the manufacturing of that for the West, which is why those guns won the West, but it wasn't necessarily an industry,
Yeah.
Like it was beginning to be, but
yes.
So, World War II definitely solidified that because all those guys got giant government contracts.
Right. So Eisenhower was saying we must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties, our democratic processes. Only an alert and a knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals so that security and liberty may prosper together. That doesn't even include the intelligence community and corporations, which then start to really muddy the waters. Now, notice here it says restack quote because this is Substack. I could put this out and it would make like a little italicized quoted thing and put that out on Substack notes, which is pretty cool. Makes it easy. But Matt, getting back to Matt, he's saying that this was the direst of warnings, but that the address has tended in popular press to be ignored. After 60 plus years, most of America, including most of the American left, which traditionally focused on the most on this issue, has lost its fear that our arms industry might conquer democracy from within. Now, however, we've unfortunately found cause to reconsider Eisenhower's warning. Yeah. So, while the civilian population only in recent years began haggling over deplatforming incidents involving figures like Alex Jones and Milo Yiannopoulos clowns, government agencies had already long been advancing a new theory of international conflict in which the informational landscape is more importantly understood as a battlefield than a forum for exchanging ideas. In this view, spammy ads, junk news, and the sharing of work from disinformation agents like Jones aren't inevitable features of a free internet, but sorties in a new form of a conflict called hybrid warfare. So literally, we were talking about some of those agents when we were talking about the list that Crab was doing just the other day. The shitlib tier list, because some of those people are definitely chaos agents. So,
well, I mean, and new popular stimulant addicts, Chris Mowry and Harry Jizison, Jay Sisson.
Right? Those guys are special, huh? So in 1996, just as the internet was becoming part of daily life in America, the U.S. Army published Field Manual 100-6, which spoke of an expanding information domain termed the global information environment that contains information processes and systems that are beyond the direct influence of the military. Military commanders needed to understand that information dominance in the GIE would henceforth be a crucial element for operating effectively. God, this is so dystopian. You'll often see it implied that information operations are only practiced by America's enemies because only America's enemies are low enough and deprived of enough of real firepower to require the use of such tactics, needing as they do to overcome military limitations. But we rarely hear about America's own lengthy history with active measures and information operations. But popular media gives us space to read about the desperate tactics of the Asiatic enemy, perennially described as something like an incurable transcontinental golf cheat. Indeed, part of the new mania surrounding hybrid warfare is the idea that while the American human being is accustomed to living in clear states of war or peace, the Russian, Chinese, or Iranian citizen is born into a state of constant conflict, where war is always ongoing, whether declared or not. Wow. In the face of such adversaries, America's open information landscape is little more than military weakness. I guess from a military perspective.
Gamer wants you to reiterate what IMAT stands for.
Where? IMAT?
IMA. Yeah, TT. Industrial Military.
Well, it's the MIC. It's the Military Industrial Complex, and it's the intelligence. Yeah, the MATT is it's got to do with corporate intelligence. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm too much weed, guys. Gotcha. Sorry, it's been a long weekend.
Thank you. Look it up.
Part of the new mania surrounding hybrid warfare is the air, right? So military weakness. So in March of 2017, in a hearing of the House Armed Services Committee on Hybrid War, Chairman Mac Thornberry opened the session with ominous remarks, suggesting that in the wider context of history, an America built on constitutional principles of decentralized power might have been badly designed. Oh, okay.
International Military Assistance and Training Team.
There you go. Yeah, that is also dystopian. But that's Americans Canada. Are used to that's our peacekeeping troops that are over in Ukraine right now. So this guy said Americans are used to thinking of a binary state of either war or peace. That's the way our organization's doctrine and approaches are geared. Other countries, including Russia, China, and Iran, use a wider array of centrally controlled, or at least centrally directed, instruments of national power and influence to achieve their objectives. Whether it's contributing to foreign political parties, targeted assassinations of opponents, infiltrating non-uniform personnel such as the Little Green Men, traditional media and social media, influence operations, or cyber-connected activity, all of these tactics and more are used to advance their national interests and most often to damage American national interests. The historical record suggests that hybrid warfare in one form or another may well be the norm for human conflict rather than the exception. Yeah, except we do all that stuff too. And I think that's the point. Around that same time, i.e. shortly after the election of Donald Trump, it was becoming a gospel among the future leaders of the censorship-industrial complex that interference by malign foreign threat actors and the vicissitudes of Western domestic politics must be linked. So everything from Podesta emails to Trump's Rust Belt primary victories to Brexit were to be understood first and foremost as hybrid war events. So this is why the Trump-Russia scandal in the United States will likely be remembered as a crucial moment in the 21st century history, even though the investigation superficially ended a non-story fake news in itself. But what the Mueller investigation didn't accomplish in ousting Trump from office, it did accomplish in birthing a vast new public-private bureaucracy devoted to stopping dis, and malinformation. Wow, now there's malinformation, while smoothing public acquiescence to the emergence of a spate of new government agencies with information warfare missions, like that one that I just showed you. The censorship-industrial complex is just a military-industrial complex reborn for the hybrid warfare age. That makes sense. Much like the war industry, pleased to call itself the defense sector, the anti-disinformation complex markets itself as merely defensive, designed to fend off the hostile attacks of foreign cyber adversaries who, unlike us, have military limitations. 800 bases worldwide were not spread thin at all. The CIC, however, is neither wholly about defense, nor even mostly focused on foreign disinformation. It's become instead a relentless, unified messaging system aimed primarily at domestic populations, who are told that political discord at home aids the enemy's undeclared hybrid assault on democracy. Basically, if you question Joe Biden, you're helping Russia or you're helping China. That's effectively what they're saying there. And that's the narrative that's being projected.
You know the thing.
Yeah, we know the thing. Thanks, Joe. They suggest we must rethink old conceptions about rights and give ourselves over to new surveillance techniques like toxicity monitoring. Oh, God.
What does that mean?
Yep. To replace the old free press with editors.
That's like if you get into a room and Britney Spears is playing, you can monitor that.
Well, wait.
Or no, not toxic. Toxicity is
yeah, it's toxic. That's right.
System of a Down.
Boop, right. But okay, you're going to replace the musty old right. You're going to replace the musty old free press editors claiming a nose for news with an updated model that uses automated assignment tools like newsworthy claim extraction and submit to frank thought policing mechanisms like the redirect method, which sends ads at online browsers of dangerous content, pushing them toward constructive alternative messages. Jesus. It's ink-sock. It's totally ink-sock.
Yeah.
Finding all this is a commitment to a new homogenous politics, which the complex of public and private agencies listed below seeks to capture in something like a unified field theory of neoliberal narrative, which can be perpetually tweaked and amplified online via algorithm and machine learning. Yes, we've seen that. This is what some of the organizations on this list mean when they talk about coming up with shared vocabulary of information disorder or credibility or media literacy. Anti-disinformation groups talk endlessly about building resilience to disinformation, which in practice means making sure the public hears approved narratives so often